Hello and welcome back to another fabulous area on my channel where I'm Jacob from Jacob's Book Corner. We're here to talk about a brand new series on my channel, which is going to be rereading my old favorites. I'm going to run through a list of books real fast that are going to be popping up throughout this. These are books that I have loved when I was younger, where I was a little more influenced and things are those lines, and I didn't really have I don't know, my brain wasn't to the level where it is now, where I like analyze things, where I can't truly enjoy everything that I read anymore. And so these are like just my favorite books from when I was younger, from if that was like from like 6th grade to like maybe a junior in high school or something like that. And they're those lines. And so I have a list of books. We're starting one today, as you guys can tell by the title, which was my favorite book for a very long time, and I'm already halfway through it, so we'll talk about it here in a second. I don't think there's going to be any spoilers, but there could also be spoilers. I think it's just going to be more if my opinion has changed, if I still very much enjoy it, do I still recommend type of thing. I don't really see this being... I also don't see these being very lengthy. I'm also trying to read them in a new way so I can experience it completely different from the first time. But who knows. I do have a little bit of a list here, though, and this is just the starting list. There's so many others that I wouldn't mind getting to that were, like, traditional favorites. Like, Winger is on this list. It's a traditional favorite of mine, but here's the starting list. So we have Winger, which is sitting over there. I don't want to go get it. We have Impulse, 50 Shades Darker, because I'm also, if it's a series or something like that, I'm reading my favorite from that series, as I do have a few favorite series from when I was younger. 50 Shades Grey was one of them. 50 Shades, the first one, was not my favorite, and I did not like the third book, but I remember really enjoying the second book, so we're going to read that at some point. It's going to be real fun. The Fault in Our Stars, the only John Green book that I actually think is really great, except for Looking for Alaska. Let me know which one you would prefer me to read. That's a good question. Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens by Becky Talley. Beautiful Disaster, which I talked about a lot, by Jamie McGuire. And which also let me know if you want me to read this or Beautiful or Walking Disaster, which is through Travis's point of view, which I have not read, but it is the same story, it's just a little different. So let me know if you want me to experience that one instead on camera. And then, of course, we have Fallen by Lauren Kate. Like I said, there is a few others which we'll be picking up over time. Like, I want to read Insurgent because it's my favorite Divergent one. I'm already planning on rereading the entirety of Hunger Games, so that doesn't really count. And I read after like once a year, so that doesn't really count either. But those would be the other contenders, and I'm sure I'll just continue to combine to a list. I'll talk to Vampire Academy by Michelle Mead. That's on my list. I own it upstairs. It's not down here. Hold on. Okay, just wanted to. So let's talk about Fallen by Lauren Kate. With me first, talk about my first experiences with Fallen, and then I'll explain what it is, and then we'll jump into how I feel halfway through. Or I'll check my phone and we'll figure out how far I am. So Fallen by Lauren Kate, I had found when, I want to say I was a sophomore in high school. I want to say it's a sophomore in high school. Which was 6 years ago? Something like that. When I was a sophomore, I went to Barnes & Noble with my mom, and she told me to pick out, I had been doing this thing where I'm just picking out random books and not reading the back covers, and this is the book that caught my attention. I had no idea what it was about when I started it, and I absolutely fell in love with everything about it. This was during the time of like the Twilight craze and those type of things. Do you guys want me to reread a book in Twilight? I was thinking about rereading Eclipse. Yeah, these are things, and you can tell me which ones you are most excited for me to reread. All these books I really did enjoy to begin with, and so your opinion does matter too, because this is content for you, but it's also like content for me, you know what I mean? Either way, I picked it up, and I read the first one in like 2 days, and I read the second one in like 2 days. I didn't really care for Passion, which you're sitting over there, and I never finished Rapture because the ending was leaked for me, at least an ending that I'm still not sure is a true ending, but I've only gotten ever like 250 or 300 pages into it. I don't have that much left of the actual book. So if that's the book you want me to finish as well, just, let me know. But with Fallen follows Luce and a Prince as she goes to Swords and Cross boarding school, and she feels this connection with Daniel Gregory, and yeah, essentially it is very much about fallen angels and things without being specifically said. But when we talk about it, when everybody talks about it here on BookTube and stuff, it is said fallen angels, so it's not really a spoiler per se. I'm not going to really tell you how it's involved with that. Just know it's very religious, and the later books become even more religious. This is like beautiful creatures and that type of thing, where it's almost a little overbearing for like great purposes. This whole story is rooted throughout religion and things. So I'm going to go get my phone so I can tell you. 64% or 7 hours into the audiobook. I'm on chapter 14. This is my original copy, by the way. Oh my god, I just found a dollar. That's so cool. Thank you, Jacob. Chapter 10. These don't have table contents. Chapter 14. Oh, hey, this must be one of the chapters I really like because it's pinpointed. I'm on page 281 out of 452. I'll finish it today while I'm at work. So far, I kind of enjoy the story. I don't like the narrator per se, who narrates the audiobook, but I never listened to the audiobook before. I have read this book 3 or 4, maybe 5 times. It used to be a book that I used to read to go to bed to. Like, yeah, that movie that you turn on to go to bed to. That's what Fallen was for me. I used to read it to relax and fall asleep. And so, I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not great, though. The writing itself is not my favorite, as I once thought it would be. And I do wonder if the writing does get better throughout the series as they get more and more complex. But this story is just very small, and it's very simple, and nothing a lot happens. And also, because I didn't really start making this comparison until later on, they're both released around the same time. There's a lot of similarities to Twilight in the relationship between Daniel and Luce. The only exception here is Cam, who I very much enjoy throughout the series. I don't think he's a favorite here. The scene, actually, the chapter about to get into, is actually one of my favorite scenes with him throughout the whole entire series, but he has never been my favorite. Also, I don't like the way they pronounce certain names, because obviously if you read the whole series, in your head, you pronounce the ways you want to, and so far, it's okay. It's not going to be a 5-star read. It's not going to be, I don't think I'm going to be recommending it. But I am very curious to pick up the rest of the series after this one, and I have a strong feeling I'm going to want to, as I do remember this ending on a cliffhanger-y type ending. But either way, we are here. Like, I mean, this is one of those books that I don't tend to dog-ear very often, but I have specific pages that I have dog-eared. Can you tell? Yeah, you see like all those like little lines? That's all dog-eared, and that's how I kept track. Alright, this is my first update. I'll update you guys when I get home tonight with my second update for Fallen by Lauren Kate, which will be the final update for Fallen by Lauren Kate. Very quick video. Sorry about that. Hopefully next time when we pick up the next book, which I think will be next month or maybe later on this month, I'll be home so I can do like updates while I read it. I think that's a much more interesting and intriguing video. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. Either way, I'm going to let you go here. Thank you for watching. Hello, and I figured I'm going to go ahead and give my final update for Fallen by Lauren Kate. Fallen by Lauren Kate, I did finish, I finished yesterday. Yes, I did. I read the last, like, 140-ish pages or something, under those lines. See here, I started on chapter 14. I don't know what page that's on. Oh, 281 to 406 or something, like 452. So I read all that with this much at work, and that's what we're going to be covering today in this review / finishing portion. So Idle Hands was by far not one of my old favorite chapters. It was supposedly one of my favorite chapters, but like I didn't love it nearly as much as I loved The Lion's Den, which is chapter 15. 15 follows Cam when he goes off campus and he's drunk. Now 14 could have been in here just for the simple fact of the lines of we get the battle outside between Cam and Daniel, which I much prefer in the book than the movie. I'm going to be watching the movie. I don't know if I'm going to add any of those details on there. Just know the movie's just not as good as the book. At least when I first initially watched it, I didn't think that. But chapter 15 is when Cam and Luce go off campus for the first time, and Cam's drunk, but she also has her first kiss, and Daniel realizes that she can't die. I also want to mention that there is a ton of insta-love, I guess we could say here. I want to say, yeah, I want to say there's a good amount of insta-love throughout the story, but I don't really know, maybe not. Because it is a story, they're destined to be in love with each other, so ultimately I guess it's kind of written in lines, if you guys want to think about it that way. But I don't even know how to describe it. The kiss scene was not my favorite as much as I wanted to want to love it. It's on page 325, 324 or something like that. It wasn't my favorite as much as I remember it to be my favorite. And then the whole story kind of takes off on a 100-mile train going south, because I don't mind the ending. I like the twist of her being baptized is the reason why she can't, that's why she doesn't die when they do kiss and things like that. I don't like the sexual assault in the book, which a lot of people are going to be like, sexual assault? He kisses her without her permission. Cam does, and she likes it. It's not my favorite. It's supposed to, once again, symbolize this love triangle and things, and even in my own book, I've been trying to figure out a way around it, and I still have yet to figure out a way around consensual in certain parts, super consensual. I agree to this thing, but also, I guess, in a way it's supposed to symbolize toxic romance, in which Cam is very toxic, and this is further explored throughout further the books and stuff. Cam is also a part of the, ironically, I'm pretty sure comes down to he's part of the Lucifer side, and Daniel is part of the really, really strong God side. Very much explored throughout Passion, and then also Rapture. Duh. Not that I finished Rapture, but when I read Rapture, it was very self-explanatory in those regards. The wings, I don't know, I just picture the movie Wings, and they're not really beautiful. And so it took away all the love that I had for those wings when I first initially read it. And then I found the ending to be quite cheesy. I also found her accepting the fact that she loves him, and this is written off in a way of oh, we're destined to be together, so I love you, I will always love you, we're always meant to be together because we're destined to be together. But my problem with this is the fact that it was never earned. It's earned in other books, though. For instance, Passion, which is by far my least favorite, if we don't count Rapture, because I didn't finish it. And there, the relationship is fully explored to the highest extent, which is the reason why I don't really like the book, because it's just a little too slow, in my personal opinion. I like the little character, the little gargoyle falls around that one, but overall, not my favorite. And with Fallen, in the case, I think it's a little too fast, and it's really interesting because Torment is also very similar to Fallen in a way they spend so much time away from one another. So much time away from it, so it's like New Moon, and I find that to be very interesting because I think that's when the comparisons to Twilight stop. Fallen has a lot of comparisons as I read it to Twilight, and obviously I'm using Twilight as that was the biggest one that came out around this time period of these books coming out. We have Hush Hush, which is also about fallen angels. I never read Hush Hush, so. And then Torment was very much like New Moon, except for major exceptions. Torment by far has my favorite cover out of them all. I like the gray. I'm not a huge fan of this. I don't like how they use the black dress in the movie either. I think it's so annoying, and it just does not make me super happy inside. Either way, initial rating was a 5 out of beautiful stars when I first read it back in 2012. I reread it several more times, all giving it 5 out of 5 stars. Pen was a character that I didn't think was very underdeveloped. The first time I read it, I thought she was very well realized. This was not the case, so that was disappointing. a lot of the side characters were underdeveloped, and I don't know, and I have a strong feeling I'm doing the same thing with my own romance, and so like these are just things I really just need to pick up on and catch and really dive into some more B plot storylines that require those those characters. And a lot of those characters truly do come in fruition in further novels. Arian definitely comes into better fruition. Penn never got a chance, so we can't judge her. Roman comes into fruition. Molly and Gabby, like these characters are there and they're there to do their purpose. I just I have a mixed bag about it. It's just my personal opinion. It ended up being a 3 star for me. And I would be very curious to see if this is my least favorite out of them all. I'm pretty sure Passion is. I think Passion would have been like probably a 3 star as well, even like on Requisition. I think I would have probably have given it a 4 star. Torment would have probably been a 5, and Rapture, if would have finished, if ending's true, would have been like a 2, probably. So, yeah. My question to you is, when do you like this type of video? I'm not going to start reading any of the other ones on the list I told you until you guys, the likes or the comments or whatever comes out of it. So let me know if you like me reading my old favorites and telling you guys my new opinion, my fresher look of eyes for these somewhat toxic romance. So these are extremely toxic, and it's going to be really fun to tell Jacob how wrong he was. Also, if you really do like these videos, would you want to see more of the Fallen series? You may read the whole the whole saga. I can do that if that's what you prefer. There's technically 6 books if you call it the novella. That was never released as a novella, but it was released as it's in between Passion and Rapture, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's in between Torment and Passion, and it follows several different Valentine's Days, following different characters and stuff. It's called Fallen in Love, such a typical. And then we also have Bentley, which I've never read, which is Cam Gregory's story. And the only reason I never read, or not Cam Gregory, that's Cam's story, and that's because it takes place during a storyline that happens in particularly Rapture, which I never got to, so I never read Cam's storyline. I do want to mention, as the stories progressed and stuff, my love for Cam grew even further. I always felt like Daniel was a very simple and, what's the best word? Just not great love interest, because it was the easy answer, and I like more complicated answers. Part of the reason I really like Edward and Bella, and other characters that I can't think of, like Peeta, not Peeta, Peeta and Katniss is, I thought, like a very simple answer. Gale turned out to be an asshole, so it turned out to be more simpler than not. Either way, just to show some comparisons and stuff, I really liked her with Cam. It was my preferred love triangle. I also really do like the love triangle throughout the books. I think everything is really necessary, and I do like some of the answers that do come out towards the end of the series, the reason why Luce is the way Luce is, and things along those lines. I do enjoy those aspects of these books, and so it'll be really fun to go back and see, but I'm not going to read them again unless you guys want me to read them again for particular videos or whatever, so let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that'll bring us to the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below. Have you ever read Fallen? Is this a book that is one of your favorites? Have you read it before? I just asked that. Have you read it recently? If you've already read it, let me know in the comments, as I would love to have to talk to fans about Fallen, and maybe you can persuade me on some things I just didn't really like this time around. I'm not sure if it's because I read it as an audiobook, and I read audiobooks so fast. It's that every book seems to be a little bit shorter than what they actually are, So I know that's the reason why, and that's the reason why I didn't really get immersed myself into the story. But either way, if you guys enjoyed this book, do your thing. Thank you for listening. I'll see you guys soon.